Good day, everybody. I am Alvin Winston P. Cafe, student 11 of CE Laws, and the one assigned to discuss about DPWH Bluebook items 509 to 511. So, item 509, sheet piles. Description. These shall consist of furnishing, driving, and cutting off sheet piling covered by this specification. 509.2 Material Requirements. 509.2.1 Timber sheet piles. The timber, unless otherwise definitely noted on the plans or in the special provisions, may consist of any species which will satisfactorily stand driving. It shall be sawn or hewn with square corners and shall be free from wormholes, loose nuts, wing shakes, or sound portions or other defects which might impair its strength or tightness. 509.2.3 Steel sheet piles. Steel sheet piles shall be of the type, weight, and section modulus indicated on the plans or special provisions and shall conform to the requirement of item 400. Piling subsection 400.2.7 Sheet piles. Painting shall conform to the requirements of item 411, paint, subsection 411.6.2, painting structural steel. 509.3, construction requirements. Sheet piles shall be driven to elevation shown on the plans or as directed by the engineer. So, it must be thoroughly followed on what is indicated on the plans or directed by the engineer. Where impractical to drive to plan elevation due to subsurface conditions, the driving of piles may be stopped at a higher elevation with the written permission of the engineer. However, before granting such permission, the engineer shall ascertain that the contractor has adequate equipment for the required driving and that the piles can be driven to the planned elevation with proper use of this equipment. So, dili lang ta basta-basta maka balhin or maka deliver o sheet piles, but we have to use or to follow such protocols. So the top of the piling shall be driven or cut off to a straight line of the elevation indicated on the plans. The requirements governing the installation of sheet piling shall conform in general to those governing bearing piles as set forth under item 400, piling. 509.4 Method of measurement. Sheet piling will be measured by the linear meter of sheet piling as shown on the plans or as directed in the writing by the engineer. Complete, in place, and accepted. However, measurement of piling which has been delivered to plan length and cannot be driven according to plan or directed elevation because of subsurface condition shall be measured as if driven to that elevations. 509.5 Basis of payment. Payment of steel piles as determined in section 509.4, method of measurement shall be made at the contract unit price per linear meter. Such payment shall be considered full compensation of furnishing all materials, labor, equipment, tools, paint, bolts, wales, and incidentals necessary to complete the item. So the payment will be under, so as you can see here at the table, this is the basis of payment on sheet piles. So item number 509 or the sheet piles, which is timber, the unit of measurement will be linear meter. So every payment shall be based on the unit of measurement called linear meter. Or we will use linear meter as the basis of our payment. So item 510, the concrete slope protection. Description. This item shall consist of the furnishing and placing of concrete slope protection including all necessary excavation, a bed course, and reinforced concrete to the required thickness and extent to protect slopes against erosion. Construction details shall be shown on the plans. So in this part or in this item, we will be discussing on how we can or how we will construct concrete slope protections. So dili lang siya basta-basta na itukod, but we have such provisions para sundon o himahimong guide. So material requirements for 510.2.1 or the bed course. A bed course where required shall be granular material which satisfies the requirements for item 200 aggregate sub base grading A. 510.2.2 Formwork. For formwork, where necessary, shall be as specified in item 407, concrete structures. 510.2.3 Steel reinforcement. Steel reinforcement shall be specified in item 404 or reinforcing steel. 510.2.4 concrete shall be class B as specified in item 405 structural concrete unless otherwise specified or required by the engineer. So the materials that will be used in constructing this concrete slope protection, we have such specifications na kailangan nato sundon, in which napod siya standard na gi-specify in other items sa katong past items. So dili lang po siya basta-basta na kana lang dayon ni butang, but we need to follow the items prescribed in this section or in this item. 510.3 construction requirements. So for 510.3.1, which is excavation, the ground shall be excavated where necessary in accordance with the dimensions, lines, and grades shown on the plans. So 510.3.2 bed course were shown on the plans or ordered by the engineer. The contractor shall provide and lay a bed course to the depth required and as specified in item 200. Aggregate sub-base course. Compacted at least 100% of the maximum dry density as determined by AASHTO T180 Method D. So, sa itong mga na-discuss ganina, dili lang po dahil siya necessary na if ever man na naigi-prescribe ang engineer, dili pasabot ay disregard na to na sa item, but pwede na to siya gamiton. But if ever the engineer has specified to use those items or the engineer specified na kani ang dapat buhaton, kato jud siya ang sundon. Construction requirements. 510.3.3 concrete. The contractor shall provide and place concrete in accordance with the requirements of item 405 structural concrete to the required depths in the positions and to the grades and elevations shown on the plans. Unless otherwise specified, the concrete slab shall not be greater by 4 meters by 4 meters and shall be between slabs, plain vertical straight joints with no joint filler or sealer. The toe of the concrete slope protection shall be constructed and protected as shown on the plans. So again, always refer to the plans. So drainage or 510.3.4, drainage of the bed course or backfill shall be provided as shown on the plans or as required by the engineer. So 510.4 method of measurement. The quantity of granular material in the bed course to be paid for shall be measured by the cubic meter in place and accepted as shown on the plans. The quantity of concrete to be paid for shall be measured by the cubic meter in place and accepted as shown on the plans. So lahi na po siya na method of measurement in terms of in this item, because we'll be using cubic meter in place. So the accepted quantities as provided in section 510.4 method of measurement shall be paid for at the contract unit price according to the pay item in the bid schedule, which price and payment should constitute full compensation for the necessary excavation for all labor, equipment, tools, and all materials including formwork and reinforcing steel, and incidentals necessary to complete this item. So payment will be made under pay item number 510, this which description bed course or granular material. The unit of measurement is cubic meter in place, and item 510.2 concrete cubic meter in place. So for the last item that we'll be discussing is item 511, which are gabions and mattresses. Description: these items should consist of the furnishing, forming wire mesh baskets, and placing racks installed at the locations designated in accordance with this specification in conformity with the lines, grades, dimensions, and arrangements shown in the plans or as directed by the engineer. So 510.2 material requirements. 510.2.1 in general, gabions should be constructed of wire mesh and shall be supplied in various lengths and heights. A double twisted wire mesh container of variable sizes uniformly partitioned into internal cells, interconnected with other similar units, and filled with stones at the project site to form flexible, permeable, and monolithic structures such as retaining walls, seawalls, channel linings, revetments, and weirs for erosion control. So, fact check lang di gabions are commonly used to protect or to prevent erosion. Kung mapansin nato ni siya, makita nato siya kadalasan if ever kada ganing sa highway, di siya highway pero kanang mga dalan na ang kilid kay bukid. So ginabutang ni siya kay para if ever man na erosion, soil erosion, siya ang magpugong na maadto ang soil dito sa dalan. So ma-prevent ni accidents and all. So the width, height, and length of the gabion is manufactured shall not differ for more than positive or negative 5% from the ordered size prior to filling. Mattresses, on the other hand, are double-twisted wire mesh container uniformly partitioned into internal cells with relatively small height in relation to other dimensions, having smaller mesh openings than the mesh used for gabions. So, mas gamay siya kaysa sa gabions. So, mattresses are generally used for riverbank protection and channel linings. So, kung katong sa gabions kay iyang ginaprotect ginagamit na siya for soil erosion kada mga dagko siya. Kaning mattresses naman most commonly ni siya sa riverbank. So dili kay na naka-heavy ang iyahang mga gina-prevent or iyahang ginapugnan. So mo nang mas gamay siya. So the length shall be 3 meters to 6 meters, the width shall be 2 meters, and the height shall be 0.17 meters. Imagine 0.17 meters lang, 0.23 or 0.3 or as shown on the plan. So depende gapon sa plano. So the width and length of the mattress are manufactured shall not differ from more than negative or positive 5%, and the height shall not differ for more than positive or negative 10% from the ordered size prior to filling. So for material requirements, 511.2. Again, for wire, the wire used in manufacture of double-twisted mesh for use in gabions and mattresses shall conform to the specifications as shown below as appropriate for style order. So dili lang ta pwede ba ka basta-basta gamit og any wires to construct gabions and mattresses. So we have these specifications sa tong wires in which kani siya ang dapat gamiton when we construct gabions and mattresses. So 511.2.2.1 Style 1, double twisted mesh shall be manufactured from zinc coated steel wire conforming to specification ASTM A641 class 3 coating soft temper. 511.2.2.2 Style 2, double twisted mesh shall be manufactured from ZN5A1 coated steel wire conforming to specification ASTM A856 or A856M class 3 coating soft temper. 511.2.2.3 Style 3, double twisted mesh shall be manufactured from the same type of metallic coated steel wire as Style 1, so pareho sa Style 1, with an additional PVC coating extruded into the metallic coated steel wire. So the PVC coating shall conform the following requirements. So these are the requirements in which para magamit na to siya for Style 3. So muna siya ang specification dapat na naa sa ato ang PVC. So specific gravity 1.30 to 1.35 and test method D792. Tensile strength, modulus of elasticity, hardness, sure D, brittleness temperature which is maximum, and resistance to abrasion, and percent weight loss or maximum 12% D1242. So the PVC coating shall not show cracks or breaks after the wires are twisted in the prefabrication of the mesh. So 511.2.4, which is Style 4, double twisted mesh shall be manufactured from aluminum coated steel wire conforming to specification ASTM A809 soft temper. So kung mapansin niyo na specific na wires na gamiton because dili man pud gud siya pwede na mas like normal na wires na tong gamiton because dili pod ingana kagaan lang ayang pugnan or dili simple na bagay lang ayang gamitan because it is commonly used for soil erosion, kanang pwede siyang mababad sa tubig and all. So if ever man dili kato na wires ang gamiton na atong na-specify dere, no possibility na dali lang maguba and which can cause accidents. So as engineers dapat safety jud natong ginauna. So dapat kani ato sundon. So 511.2.3, Lacing wire and stiffener. Lacing wire and stiffener shall be made of wire having the same coating material as a double twisted wire mesh conforming specification ASTM A641 or A856 or A856M or A809 with the tensile strength in accordance with subsection 509.2.7. 511.2.4 fasteners made from zinc coated steel wire, zinc negative 5% aluminum mesh metal alloy coated steel wire, and aluminum coated steel shall conform to specification A764 type A, B, or C, table 2 or table 3. 511.2.5 Gabion and matrices shall be manufactured with all components mechanically connected to the production facility with the exception of the mattress lid, which is produced separately from the base. All gabions and matrices shall be supplied in the collapsed form, either folded and bundled or rolled for shipping. For dimensions, the minimum size of galvanized and PVC coated wire to be used in the fabrication of gabion and mattresses shall be as follows. So diameter for gabion, body wire, metallic coated 3.05, PVC coated 2.70 mm, metallic coated 2.20 mm, ay wait lang. For gabion, for body wire, metallic coated 3.05 mm, and for PVC coated 2.70 mm. For mattresses, 2.20 metallic, PVC is 220. So salvage or perimeter wire tiring, 3.80 for metallic sa gabion, 3.40 PVC, and for mattresses, metallic is 270, same sa PVC, which is 270. And for connecting wire, 220 for metallic coated for gabions and PVC, 220 also. Same lang po siya sa mattresses, yung PVC o yung metallic coated. So diameter tolerances for galvanized wire to be used in fabrication of gabion and mattresses shall be positive or negative 10. The nominal and minimum thickness of PVC coating shall be 0.50 mm and 0.38 mm respectively. So 511.2.7 mechanical properties. For tensile strength, the tensile strength of zinc coated wire used in fabrication of gabion mattresses when tested in accordance with test methods ASTM A370 shall be as follows. So the tensile strength shall be for body wire na dapat naa ang zinc coated wire is for gabions 485 and for mattresses 511. For salvage or perimeter wire 485 gabions and mattresses. Same lang, and tying and connecting wire save lang silang duha 511 and 515 MPa. The weight of coating. So the minimum weight of zinc per unit area of uncoated wire surface shall be accordance of ASTM A975 or as follows. So wire diameter or mm over 1.90 to 2.0, the class 3 or coating, which is per gram per meter squared, is 220 over 230 to 270 to 230, 270 to 310, 240, 310 to 350, 3.10.2, 3.50 to 60, and 3.50 to 3.90 is 270. So rock fill. Rock is used in the gabions and mattresses shall consist of hard, durable pieces that will not deteriorate when submerged in water or exposed to severe weather conditions. So, rock pieces shall be generally uniformly graded in sizes ranging from 100 mm to 200 mm. Filled gabion shall have a minimum density of 1,400 kg per meter cube, and void shall be evenly distributed. So no rock size shall exceed 2/3 of the mattress depth, and at least 85% of weight of the stone shall be a size greater than 80 mm. No stones shall be able to pass through the mesh. So dapat kano siya, importante ang mga bato na ginabutang nato sa gabions and mattress, because if ever na dili uniform ang bato na to ipabutang, dili uniform ang size na possibility na dagan siya voids. So dili siya yung ka fixed. So in order to minimize voids, dapat sundon nato ang mga rocks na ipambutang sila. So the rock shall meet the requirements of AASHTO M63 except that the sodium sulfate soundness loss shall not exceed 9% after 5 cycles. So 511.2.10. Filter fabric. Filter cloth shall consist of 70% polypropylene and 30% polyethylene. So construction requirements. So in this part, giles lang ako diri na part ang kani siya diri because taas kani siya. But I have written the whole item man sa written report. So kamo na lang bahala basa, but kani siya this is an overview of this item. So for fabrication, gabions and mattresses shall be in the form of rectangular baskets of the required dimensions and shall be manufactured from wire as specified in subsection 509.2.2. When the gabion length exceeds its width, it shall have securely tied diaphragms connected at all edges to form individual cells of equal length and width. So gabion shall be fabricated in such a manner that the sides, ends, leads, and diaphragms can be assembled at the construction site into rectangular baskets of the specific sizes. 4 cross-connecting wires shall be provided in each cell having a height of 1/2 the width or less, and 8 cross-connecting wires shall be provided in each cell having a height greater than 1/2 the width. So next, for assembly and construction, gabions shall be installed in a workman-like manner, and the gabion shall be placed in a smooth foundation. Final line and grade shall be approved by the engineer. Number 2, filter fabric as beds of gabions and mattresses forming the structure shall be suitably leveled and shall be securely connected along the complete length of the contact edges by means of the above specified tying and connecting wire. Number 3, before the filling material is placed, the gabions and mattresses shall be carefully selected for uniformity of size, and the pieces shall be hand-placed to provide a neat appearance as approved by the engineer. So, syempre, lain po kayo buhat kay gabions, tapos dili siya yung naka-uniform. So, lain po na dapat presentable po siya. And dili lang po siya for presentable, aside na mapektuhan man po good ang iyahang strength or iyang capacity to withstand ang ginapugnan niya if ever lahi sila sizes. So, importante nga po na size. So, the cells in a row shall be filled in a stage so that the local deformation may be avoided. That is at no time shall the cell be filled to a depth exceeding 30 centimeters more than the adjoining cell. So, the filter fabric shall be placed between earth surface and the gabion or mattress structure. So, tangan should permi og filter fabric. So, the method of measurement. The quantities to be paid for shall be the number of cubic meter of gabions and mattresses and the area of filter cloth completed and accepted. So, quantities determined for the basis of payment. Quantities determined as provided above shall be paid for at the appropriate contract unit price per unit of measurement for the pay item shown in the bid schedule, which price and payment shall continue full compensation at all necessary excavations. So, same ganina sa basis of payment. So, here, the pay item number, which is 511, number 1, for gabions, the unit of measurement which will be the basis of the payment is per cubic meter. For the mattresses, also is for cubic meter. And for the filter cloth, na importante po siya, hindi siya pwede mawala pag magbuhat ang gabions sa mattresses, is per square meter. So that will be all for my report, and hopefully you've learned something in these items, which is from 509 and 511. And thank you very much, and God bless.